Hello everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. I have 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid behind me, which I think might be the best hybrid compact SUV in the market. In fact, I'm going to give you 7 reasons why I believe so, even though I currently own both RAV4 Hybrid as well as RAV4 Prime, which is a plug-in hybrid. Despite my experience with the RAV4, which I love a lot, I still think this one is better than the RAV4. So let me go through all the details in terms of quality, in terms of functionality and drivability, and give you the reasons why I think this is the best one in the market. Let's go. Welcome back. So I have the Honda CR-V Hybrid, which is a more desirable version of the CR-V because of the phenomenal fuel efficiency. But there are many reasons to love this Honda CR-V Hybrid. And even though I own a RAV4 Hybrid and a RAV4 Prime, which is a plug-in hybrid, this one definitely drives better and overall is a better vehicle. So let me outline to you the 7 reasons why I think this is the best hybrid compact SUV in the market, starting with the first reason, which is the fact that Honda CR-V has been one of the most reliable vehicles in the industry. Over the years, both CR-V and now the CR-V Hybrid has proven to be absolutely trouble-free, and as you will see soon, the quality of manufacturing is also very good. Let's take a look at the panel alignment and panel fit, as I always do, using my gauge here, and you'll be shocked to find out the gap between the front hood and the fender is less than 3 millimeters. It's 2.9 millimeter all the way to the edge from front to the back. It gets wider over here at 3 millimeters, and it's about the same on the other side, and that is unheard of in an SUV in this price range because no one is able to achieve a gap of less than 3 millimeters. That's really, really rare. Even for, let's say, a Lexus, they tend to average between 3 to 3.5. This is also 3 millimeter here, a little bit wider at 3.2, and about 3.2 millimeter here as well. So the panel fit and the panel alignment and the fact that all these things line up perfectly provides a reflection of how good the manufacturing is for this Honda CR-V. This is built in Canada at the Alliston factory, about 2 hours north of Toronto, and I've been to that factory a number of times, and they have a really good engineering and a very good manufacturing quality standard. What about the paint job? Well, like most Japanese, there's a fair amount of orange peel. That's pretty well standard for most Asian product. That's just the way that paint process is. But actual reflection of the paint, the quality of the clear coat is also very good. Although I will admit it's not quite as good as the Toyota RAV4 Prime that we own, which is built in Japan. That one has a phenomenal paint job and an extremely smooth clear coat. Compared to that one, this one is not quite in the same category, but if you look at all the other SUVs in this price range, this is top notch in terms of overall quality. So that's the first reason why I like the Honda CR-V, especially in this hybrid version, because it's well built and it's reliable. What about the second reason why I like this Honda CR-V Hybrid? Well, I know some of the engineers that work for Honda because I was offered a job there once many years ago, and I know that they have a lot of focus and emphasis on engineering a vehicle, maybe even more so than Toyota or Lexus for that matter. And so the engineers spend a lot of time getting things right. Everything from the way the panels are aligned and how they fit together, to the powertrain, which I'll get into in a minute, as well as suspension and steering feel. All those things are something that Honda does really well. So even, for example, the paint job is a little bit thicker than a comparable Toyota product. If I were to use this paint thickness gauge, you'll see that it's 135 microns. Most Toyota cars are about 100 to 110. So you can tell it's about 10 to 15% thicker in terms of paint job. Same thing if you measure here, 127, and over here, 126. So all around, the paint job is a little bit thicker, and that is by design because I think Honda likes to have a little bit thicker paint compared to, let's say, a Toyota RAV4, which is ranging about 100 to 110 micron, because they're mastermind behind cost cutting and efficiency, so they tend to try to reduce the paint job in terms of thickness as much as possible. But Honda is a bit more generous. Also, just the way the whole thing works is quite interesting, and I'll talk about this a little bit later on, but the hybrid system is very different from the Toyota system because this one functions in a series system, which means the engine functions more like a generator to actually charge the batteries, which then propels the vehicle. Now, of course, the engine does propel the vehicle too, especially at highway speed, but the main function of this series-based engine is that it's always running in order to charge the batteries, which then in turns propels the vehicles forward and actually accelerates the car. So that is a very different approach to Toyota system, which switches back and forth between engine and hybrid, because it shuts down the engine when the motor is working and vice versa. And that is obviously better for fuel efficiency, but overall it's not going to feel as smooth as a system like this one, which is trying to function a little bit like a plug-in hybrid, except you cannot plug this one into a charging station. You have to only use gas. So very different philosophy, but from engineer's perspective, this one is a more meaningful way. The third thing I like about the Honda CR-V is the interior design. If I were to compare this to the RAV4 that we currently own, well, there's a huge difference because the RAV4 is really beginning to feel outdated. And that will change dramatically when a new version of the RAV4 show up sometime maybe end of next year perhaps, or into 2025. And then of course the whole new battle will begin again. But for now, the CR-V has an edge because look at this gorgeous interior that has a combination of different materials. I especially like this kind of beehive design that's very prominent in many Honda products now, but also this textured material here that is combining with a gloss black, which is minimized in these vehicles. So you don't get too many glossy black around here, for example, where your finger could potentially scratch the plastic. So really well engineered that way. And even all the knobs have a really good clicky feel, much like an expensive stereo or audio system. And it's got a very good texture. So the buttons has a right feel. Even the switches here are all designed to give you that very tactile feel that is often missing in many other SUV in this price range. We get a proper USB, both A and also the C type, as well as a 12-volt cigarette lighter type socket, which we don't often get in many vehicles. And even the charging pad here is non-slippery, and you can put your phone and it won't slide out. So these kind of little engineering design traits are extremely well done in Honda, I think better than any other brands, even when compared to Toyota, which are typically a leader in many segments, especially SUVs. Also, things like the placement of all the switches are very easy to access, and we still get a traditional shifter here as opposed to push button, which is way better. So interior is absolutely first class, perhaps one of the best in the industry. The fourth really good thing about this vehicle is the fact that we get lots of space. Even the way the seats are contoured are designed to provide the maximum comfort. But in terms of practicality of the space and the way they engineer the vehicle is excellent. We have lots of headroom and legroom, and also the rear space is one of the best in the marketplace, especially considering this is a compact SUV, but we almost have as much space as a mid-size SUV. And the trunk space is also very big and wide, easy to access. This one provides ample space and comfort for everyone on board. The fifth reason why I love this SUV is an important one, and that is how the Honda CR-V handles and feels on the road. This is one of my biggest complaints about SUVs in general, because many of them are very comfortable and smooth, but absolutely boring to drive with no feedback from the road to my hands. But in the case of a Honda CR-V, and this hybrid in particular, we have a really good feedback. The steering has a good heft, has a good weight to it. I can tell which way the wheels are pointing, for example. And then it's pretty agile around the corners. I can make quick turns left and right, and this thing just stays planted. That is unusual for a larger compact SUV, once again, because many of them do not have this attribute or this character. So I think this is something that Honda spends a lot of time in terms of engineering and design to make sure that the agility and the handling is top-notch. And in this case, it really is top-notch. The sixth reason is something I mentioned earlier, and that is a difference in functionality of the hybrid system compared to, let's say, Toyota. Once again, the Honda system is unique in the sense that engine works as a more of a generator. It's actually designed to charge the batteries, which then uses the motors to propel the vehicle. So in many ways, this allows the Honda CR-V to function more like a plug-in hybrid, because the motor is the one that's doing most of the work, except on highways. And when you're trying to pass a vehicle, then the engine will actually provide power directly to the wheels. And that is a very unique system. That is very much a Honda thing. And even though Toyota does have the best hybrid system in the world, after driving the RAV4 hybrid and the CR-V back-to-back, I'm beginning to think that I might prefer this approach. We still get great fuel efficiency and fuel economy, so that is not compromised, although I think Toyota RAV4 does get better fuel efficiency, and especially if you get RAV4 Prime, which is a plug-in hybrid, of course that vehicle functions completely as a fully electric car, when the battery is fully charged. So there's nothing that can top that, because hybrid system still uses gasoline, as in the case with this Honda. But those are some interesting attributes of the Honda hybrid system, which I really like, and that's one of the strengths of this vehicle. The seventh and the final reason why the Honda CR-V hybrid is a great buy is because it will have amazing resale value. The Honda CR-V, along with the RAV4 2, already have one of the best resale values in the industry. But if you combine that with the fact that this is a hybrid and also this is a new model, then you can project the next 4 to 5 years and you will know that this will have one of the best resale values in the market. And even though many other brands offer hybrid now, including Kia and Hyundai, they just would not be able to match the Honda's resale value. Now, because I own a pair of RAV4s, I'm also very familiar with the resale value of Toyotas, and they're just as good as Honda, maybe even better in some cases. But because RAV4 is getting a little bit outdated, I have a feeling that at least over the next few years, the Honda CR-V hybrid will be the champ when it comes to absolute best resale value. So those are several reasons why I think the Honda CR-V hybrid is the best compact SUV in the form of a hybrid version. What do you guys think of the CR-V compared to, let's say, RAV4? Because many people absolutely love the RAV4, as we do currently. But I do admit it's beginning to feel a little bit outdated, and I can't wait to see the new version of RAV4, which will likely come out maybe end of next year or early 2025. And that could perhaps surpass the Honda CR-V in terms of functionality, design, and engineering. But for now, definitely this thing is better than not just the Toyota RAV4 hybrid, but many other hybrids SUVs around. So if I were to buy a compact SUV in the hybrid version, would I buy the CR-V versus the RAV4 for other models? Absolutely, because I really like the way this thing drives, and I love the engineering and the design of this vehicle in general. If you enjoyed my video, I appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up and make some comments. And if you haven't done so yet, would you kindly subscribe, and I would truly appreciate it. But until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.